Hello, hello. Welcome to the PG-ish podcast. I'm Erin, a corporate marketing manager by day, podcast host by night, and single mom to 2 young daughters 24/7. In short, PG-ish parenting is the cliff notes to personal growth as a parent. Since those kiddos are always watching and learning from the adults in their life, like you, PG-ish is parenting guidance-ish to support a life worthy of imitating. Welcome and enjoy. Hey friend, if you want to support PG-ish, the best way is to check out our sponsors. You can find more in the show notes, but here's a quick download of them. First, BetterHelp Online Therapy will support you in prioritizing your mental health and well-being, which is one of the best things you can do to serve yourself and your family. BetterHelp will match you with the most suitable therapist within 48 hours or less. Save 10% with the code PG-ish. Also check out House of Wise CBD to bring calm to your day and better sleep to your evenings. Save 10% with the code PG-ish as well. And next, Peak Teas. They have a range of teas to meet all of your health and caffeine requirements for the day. Now, I enjoy these brands and their products and believe you'll like them also. So, again, check out more of their company details and deals in the show notes. All right, so we all have off days. Days where it's easier to remain in a state of, madness. Sure you've heard that word around here in the last 2 years or so. Or where we allow triggers to consume until you find yourself in a state of anger, sadness, or resentment. But what happens when a friend tries to cheer you up and those warm fuzzies inside crack open a little bit of joy? It's in that moment you realize you do in fact have a choice to remain upset or to let it go. As a mom, there are so many things I want to teach my girls. While I want them to be happy, I know I can't teach that to them other than model it myself. Happiness begins with you, which is why taking care of yourself is vital. Today, Connie Podesta will drop some knowledge about being a happy role model. Here's Connie.
So 2 years ago, I interviewed about 500 parents, and I say, what do you want for your kids? And I only got one answer. They want their kids to be what? Happy. Happy more than respectful? Happy more than hardworking? Happy more than compassionate? As your therapist today, can I tell you this? I've learned in 30 years of doing family counseling. You cannot make another human being happy. But what you can do, you can do two things if you want your kids to be happy. Number one, you have to be happy. Our children don't learn happy, and they really don't learn values. They witness these things, don't they? We can't teach them. They witness them. They watch them. They learn their values. They figure out how to be happy. They learn what's right and wrong from being in the constant presence of people who live those values, who live that happiness, who model those things. So we can't make our kids happy. We can't teach them how to be happy. But number one, you need to be happy. You know, sometimes I would have family counseling and the parents would go and I would just be talking to the kids and I would say to the kids, this was always one of my number one questions because I wanted to see how this family unit was working. And I would say to the children, are your parents happy? Tell me what makes your parents happy. When are your parents the happiest? And I'm going to tell you how many kids can't even answer that question. We interviewed 1,000 kids, students and kids and said, think of your teachers and think of your parents and give me 2 words to describe them. And the top 2 words that were given over 78% of the time were tired and angry. They think their parents and teachers are tired all the time and pretty well angry. Ladies and gentlemen, we can't teach happiness when they see us as tired and angry. You and I have to start living, and it's hard. It's hard to live it. Sometimes people email me and they say, Connie, well, if I were like you, I'd be happy too. But see, you only see me on stage. I go through the same things you do. 3 weeks ago, my husband and I are sitting in our family room. I got my kitty cat on my lap. My granddaughter's in the couch next to me. All of a sudden, my husband jumps up. He looks in the skylight. He sees flames. He yells, the house is on fire. We got out, thankfully. But everything is gone. Everything. Somebody said to me today, Connie, this is the jacket you wore on Wednesday. And it is. I only got one and I got 3 skirts. So you're seeing 1 to 3 outfits. Haven't had time to shop. Everything is gone. Now, let me ask you this. Do I have a right to be angry about this? Do I have a right to feel sad about this? Okay, I do. But here I'm going to be your brain right now. If you want to be happier, it has to be a choice. How many of you in here think you deserve to be happy? No, you don't. Happiness isn't an entitlement, is it? The Constitution doesn't tell us we have the right to be happy. It tells us we have the right to what? Go after it. None of us deserve to be happy, but we have the right to figure out how to make it happen for us. We have that right. Here's how your brain works. The two most devastating emotions in the world are anger, resentment, bitterness, and sadness, depression. Those are the two. Anger, bitterness, sadness, depression. And let me tell you, if you choose either of those, and I say choice, if you choose to react to what life throws to you with either one of those, here's what happens to your bodies. Our brains are amazing. Our brains want to release hormones and chemicals and oils. You know the secret to that. Our brains want us to be happy. But when we are angry and mad and bitter and resentful and revengeful, or when we're sad and depressed and overwhelmed and can't believe it happened to us, when we choose either of those directions, we paralyze our brain. Our brain can't do anything positive. Our brain is so busy trying to keep our heart pumping and our pancreas moving and our liver and our stomach. We're not going to have any serotonin. We're not going to have any good chemicals. We're not going to have anything. Our brain is so busy trying to keep our body alive, dealing with the two most destructive, devastating emotions. They are sadness and anger. So I knew this. As I'm standing out holding my husband's hand and we're watching everything go, I knew. And some of you in here, you are angry. Some of you in here are sad about things that happened to your life. But if that's the choice you continue to make, it's never going to get better. Never going to get better. We stood there in that line and we watched that house burn and we held hands and we made a vow to ourselves right then. We won't go either one of those directions. We can't afford to. I got to build a business back up. We have to figure out what to do. We have to rebuild a new house. We have to have a new future. We have to have a new life. And if we allow we have the right? Some of you are in here, you're justifying it. We always justify why we're angry. That should not have happened to us. That is not fair. And we justify why we're sad. Nobody should have had it and you are so right in your justification, but let me tell you, right or wrong, if you want to move out of that and you want to feel happiness again, you have to choose it.
All right, that's all cool, you might think, but let me remind you that happiness is going to ebb and flow, as any other emotion does. But at your core, what does joy look like? And where do you experience it? Now, I don't expect any of us to be perpetually happy like Poppy in the movie Trolls, singing, dancing, and hugging all day, but here are a few things that may support your happiness, or better yet, your joy. First, I talk about community a lot because it's important to remain healthy. Yet surrounding yourself with the right kind of people, happy people, actually increases your happiness factor. One study found that knowing someone who is happy makes you 15.3% more likely to be happy yourself. Boom. Next, move your body. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that getting outside into nature, whether walking on the trail or roaming in the hills, or even lifting weights in my living room, is totally my jam. Truly, I do it because it makes me happy. But science also proves that even a little bit of physical activity has a significant positive impact on one's mental health and well-being. Third, eat well. Again, this isn't rocket science. We all know that when you eat well, it'll make you feel well, which will in turn make it easier to feel happy. Come on, you know that feeling when you overeat or consume way too many chips and salsa or fries and beer. You're certainly not skipping with joy after meals like that. And finally, while there are many ways to boost happiness, I really love this idea and science-backed notion of literally throwing unhappy thoughts away. It turns out, by writing negative thoughts down and physically throwing them away, you can, in essence, get rid of them. But aside from all that, I'd love to know what brings you the most joy. Reach out to me on Instagram at pgishparenting or send me an email at hello@pgishparenting.com. And if you want to learn more about Connie, check out her website, conniepodesta.com, or her book, Life Would Be Easy If It Weren't for Other People. I'm not even going to go there, but I really want to read that book. Links to these, as well as our sponsors, are in the show notes. If you're enjoying PG-ish, please share with your bestie or on your favorite social platform so that more parents can grow alongside their kiddo like you. See you next time, friend.